Orange Britches game. What do the Orange Britches mean to you, and how has Dabo kind of changed the Orange Britches since you were from when you were a player to now?
As a player, we didn't talk much about the orange britches. We got excited whenever we had a chance to wear all orange or wear purple or wear something that was a little bit different. But there wasn't a whole lot of significance to us. We're here. Coach Sweeney has changed the mindset, and that the tradition of the uniform. When we put on the orange pants, we're playing for something. And our guys, they believe that, and they take pride in that, and they know that. Whenever we put on the orange pants, we're playing for something on the line. Specifically hardware and opportunity to win the conference.
Tony, I know you want your guys focused completely on Clemson, but they know what Florida State has done and what they haven't done this year, what they were expected to do. Do you guys remind them that, hey, we can't take the season they had for granted and not think that they won't be the Seminoles when they get here?
Correct. Our mentality is it's the biggest game of the season because it's the next game. But the guys that have been in this battle before, they know that they're going to get their best. And obviously, there's some evidence on film when you see them playing early in the season that this is one of the top defenses athletically in the country. So our guys know that when Florida State shows up, we're going to get their best effort. But more importantly, the biggest thing is still about Clemson. As long as we focus on ourselves, take care of the things we can control, we're going to have an opportunity to win the game.
Tony, is the most impressive part of Kelly's game at NC State battling back and overcoming mistakes and sort of being a gamer in your eyes?
No question. Just very, very proud of his performance. Obviously, he's got a few things that him and Coach Trier are going to work on to clean up. But just his ability to come back after that first drive and put that in the past and go out and lead his team to victory on the road. The biggest thing for us offensively was to see our guys respond. Obviously, our last road game, with some adversity, we didn't respond the way we were capable of, and our guys took that to heart and going against a very, very tough defense, very, very good team overall in their environment with the noise. I thought that Kelly and the offense as a whole responded the right way to the adversity.
Dabo says that the kickers have to hit the layups, but Kelly missed some layups.
Mm-hmm.
Is it mechanical, mental that you see with him kind of with the overthrows?
Obviously Coach Streeter would know better from a mechanical standpoint, but there were a couple that we didn't make the plays for him either, which I think helps with his confidence. And two, also the last couple of games we've been given those opportunities, whereas before we haven't had as many opportunities to go downfield. And that's a 50-50 ball, at best. And as I said after the game, we've been spoiled here in the past a little bit with the guys that have made that more than 50%. But we just got to keep throwing them. I think it just gives our guys confidence. And then over time, I think those balls start connecting. I think if you look back to Boston College in 2015 when Deshaun was off a little bit and we just kept throwing, and eventually he started to get in rhythm, get in sync, and that propelled us the rest of the season. So, obviously you do want to connect on it, but we did draw some pass interference calls, and so again, that's part of it. When you put the ball in the air, you want to put it in a position where the receiver makes a play or nobody makes a play, or you put it in a position where we can potentially get a call downfield with a pass interference.
Does it also help that you can kind of lean on Kelly's legs a little bit when his kind of help him gain his confidence again, kind of get in that rhythm? It seemed like you did that in that first half a lot in those 5 to 6 yard runs.
Well, we knew that going against the front, we were going against in NC State that one, the front seven was very, very experienced, very, very talented, and then they were going to be in a position with their safeties to force the run. And so we knew we were going to have an extra hat, and anytime we can gain an extra hat with the running back as a lead blocker, and then with Kelly as dynamic as he is, we knew that he was going to have to make an impact on the game. And I think for any quarterback, that is a guy that has the ability to run. Anytime you can kind of get them settled into the game, both throwing the ball and running the ball, it just helps their confidence build throughout the course of the game.
Coach, no sacks allowed against Chubb and that great defensive line. How pleased are you not only with the offensive line, but with CJ and the backs in the back?
Very, very pleased. And I thought early on that Kelly got us out of some situations with his legs as well. And you could tell that they put a lot into it. They prepared, and they showed a couple different variations of blitzes and looks, and especially on the interception look where they were showing zero coverage and then they drop out and play cover two. That's something that they hadn't shown, that they kind of held for us. And they also brought a little bit of pressure that kind of confused Taven, and rightfully so, because the way that we were preparing for it, we hadn't seen that look. But then you come back in the second half, they bring the same pressure, and Kelly stands in there and he finds Milan and knows he's hot. He finds Milan for a 29-yard gain. So, to come out of that game with 3 negative yards and no sacks allowed, that's a big kudos for our offensive line. And I think that's the confidence that we need going forward now that we're in the championship phase.
At the end of the game, I know Feaster wasn't in there. Was it because he got his bell rung a little bit, or why he wasn't in there at that time?
No, it was more, Travis was a guy that I felt like throughout the course of the game that his momentum was building. And, man, he was hitting the holes hard, and he was a couple times just one arm tackle away from breaking a big one. And Travis is a guy that I think we all know is very special. And at any moment, he or Taven could go the distance. But just felt like Travis was a guy that had the hot hand. He was playing with a lot of confidence, and so we left him in there.
Tony, before the season started, most people figured that this game here was going to determine the ACC. It still does for the ACC Atlantic. It still does for you guys, not for Florida State. You said that Florida State, when you look at their defense, is it surprising that they're not in that position when you see what you see on film from them?
Defensively, when you look at them, they're as talented as anybody that we're going to play all season, and especially in that defensive line with the rush-ins that they got in Sweat and Burns, and then I've seen at least 6 interior D tackles during when James is back, and obviously I know anytime that you have a situation like what they're having on offense, it's going to take its toll, but I expect that these guys are going to come in and play their tails off against us because it's Clemson, Florida State, but more importantly, I think they're playing for pride too. They're trying to extend their opportunity to go to a bowl, which has been a streak that they've had for a very, very long time. So they got a lot of things to play for, but I recruited some of those guys, being that I recruit down in Florida, and they're prideful young men. They're competitors, and we got some Florida guys on this team that are going to be juiced up for this game. So I think you can throw the records out when it comes to Clemson and Florida State, and we're going to get their best effort. So we got to be prepared to focus on us and bring our A game.
When you were here as a player, obviously early on, Florida State kind of had Clemson's number. That 2003 game really kind of turned things a little bit in your favor. There's still some Florida State wins in there, but how proud are you being part of that team and part of that effort when few people thought you guys were going to have a chance to succeed in that 2003 game?
Well, it's just you have a little bit of confidence knowing that you kind of laid the foundation. But what happened after that, you got to give credit to the coaching staff and the players after that because they really, really changed the mindset of the mentality and kind of set us on the course, the direction that we're on right now as a program. But I didn't do much in that game back in 2003. I blocked a lot, but it was fun. It was fun being out there, being a part of that.
How did you guys, just thinking back on it now, how did you guys have a chance? Did you guys believe that you had a chance when the rest of the world didn't think that you had a chance?
Well, I remember personally after the Wake Forest game the week before that I didn't say much and never tried to be a vocal leader, but I called the team up in the locker room and kind of said what was on my heart, and I think it resonated with some of the guys, and then we came back and just decided that at the end of the day, all that matters is what's in the locker room and what's in our football building, and that's what we're playing for. And everyone's going to count us out, and these are going to be the lasting memories that we have for the rest of our lives as part of this team. So, man, let's just go out and let's just play for each other. Who cares what the score is? And let's just be confident knowing that when we walk away that we gave everything that we had those last couple of games of that season. Okay, well, you just starting their secondary. They got McFadden, number 4, who's a 6'2" creature that plays corner. That picked us off last year. That's one of the best in the country. Derwin James is back. He missed the game, last year. He's got a lot to prove. Those are potential NFL guys. I'm talking very, very high draft picks. Then you go to the defensive line, and you got Sweat and Burns, are 2 of the most athletic and freaky guys I've seen coming off the edge. Then inside, they got Christmas, and they got Nadi, and they got Marvin, the freshman. He's playing a lot, so they got an unbelievable amount of talent. And then you go to their linebackers. Their linebackers are 6'4", 230 pounds, very, very athletic. So they know that some of those guys are playing for their future, and their opportunity to showcase against some of the best talent in the country is going to be on display. And then again, it just goes back to pride. At the end of the day, we believe on our side of the division that it comes down to Clemson and Florida State, and so they're going to be playing with some pride, with an opportunity to get closer to a bowl, and obviously we know what's on the line.
Tony, what about the mechanics of play calling? How much of a change has that been this year? Right now you guys are what you are. You know what works, and you're in a stride. But coming into the season, when things looked like they were going one way the last 2 years, and now it's kind of a different way of attacking, do you have to change how you mechanically call games?
I think the biggest thing is in game has been a little bit different because people have decided to play us a little bit differently, and we got to get a feel and make more adjustments in game as opposed to in the past when we knew what we had, we knew what everybody was good at, then we can go dictate. And what you've seen the last couple of weeks is just going back to the mentality of being aggressive. I think we feel confident with where the guys are, what they can do, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and then also adding that element of being aggressive. And I think it just boosts their confidence. So even though we may not connect on some of those deep balls, I think that builds confidence in our guys because they know that we're committed to being aggressive and we're going to give them ultimately an opportunity to make a play.
Tony, even though those deep balls haven't connected, has it still had some of the desired effect and at least making defenses honor that and opening some other things up?
Correct, and so what you're seeing now is you're seeing some more of the short, quick outs coming back into play because the guys know that, hey, we're going to throw the ball behind them, and obviously I think when they get out there, it's one thing to see it on film, but then when you get out there and you got to run stride for stride with Dion, you know how fast he is, and so there's some times where now they're up in your face, and before the snap they're bailing out, and we can take the easy throws that they're going to give us. So definitely got to continue to put the ball in the air and give our guys a chance, and over time, the more opportunities we have, the more success we're going to have as well.
Coach, Kelly had a lot more runs than either Tavian or Travis. Obviously, not all those were design runs, but are you pretty happy with the distribution of the runs? Would you like to get Travis a few more carries?
In today's day and age, with the way defenses try to play, you playing with tempo, you got to have the ability to have run-pass options. And so there's a lot of called runs to the running back, but because of the structure, the ball gets thrown on the perimeter. And again, you have to do that because if not, you're just going to hand the ball off. And so you're going to get them more carries, but then they're going to be going into loaded boxes. And so the production and the outcome's not going to be there. So anytime you can throw off of the run, keep them honest, and then also have the ability for Kelly to be a part of that, I think that keeps people honest. And so